Yo, what's good? It's your boy Steven the Dream. We are back in the building. The date is wrong. Today is April the 7th. We are way off of the date, but y'all know what it is. It's the Dream Sports Show. I'm back again. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Trying to do this every single day, but guess what? It's tough, man. It's tough, man. It's not easy coming up with topics every day when there ain't no sport going on. But shout outs to everybody that chimes in, that contributes to the show. We're gonna get right into it. Y'all know I don't like to waste no time. Topics for the day are on your right, my left. And we're going to get right into them, man. We're going to go get into our top 5 college football players you ever watched. Not the top 5 greatest, not per se your favorite, but the top 5 football players you ever saw. Also, we're going to redraft the 2009 NBA draft. That's the Steph Curry draft for y'all that don't remember. Trash draft. It's trash. It's pretty difficult to redraft. Last but not least, Wrestlemania 36 recap, man. Wrestlemania 36 recap. If y'all would for me, as always, give me a share. You know what I'm saying? Give me a follow. It's your boy Steven the Dream. It's real easy. It's not hard to find. I'm on all platforms right there. That's me. But let's get into it without further ado. The first topic. My boy Box, as always, sends in great topics every day. Y'all go check his page out, Jeremiah Box Claiborne. He sent in the first topic of the night, top 5 college players you ever saw. There's been a lot of great players to play the game. Herschel Walker, Doak Walker, Fred Biletnikoff. There's so many. I didn't get to see all those. Barry Sanders, Tony Dorsett, you know, the list goes on and on and on. These are the top 5 we saw. I'm going to start with Box's list first. He's going to give you 5 players, as always, video evidence to prove it. Number 5, Justin Blackman. Justin Blackman, 2-time Biletnikoff Award winner in 2010, 2011, 2-time Paul Warfield Trophy winner. He wasn't a unanimous All-American, 2-time first-team Big Ten. I do remember Justin Blackman going off, just going off game after game after game. And when he was ready to leave, they knew he was going to be big time. Reminded a lot of people of Des Bryant, what I remember. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, I'm going to put it in a little box right there so we don't get flagged. I don't know if these are in order, but Chase Daniels. I do remember Chase Daniels being pretty good. 2007 Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. He was a Heisman finalist, had 111 total touchdowns. I did not know that. And Missouri was ranked number 1 at a time. Chase Daniels did his thing. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if he deserves to be on this list, but this is Box's list, so I'm not gonna dispute it. Let's get into number 3. Number 3, player of all time, according to Box, Jeremiah Claiborne is, oh yeah, you see it, Willis McGahee. Willis McGahee was outstanding at his time in Miami. Heisman finalist, 2002 Big East Offensive Player of the Year, All-American 2002, and national champion in the year 2001. We know he lost the national championship as well, but we don't have to talk about that. Shout outs to my Ohio State brethren. But Willis McGahee, if it wasn't for the injury, he was amazing. Definitely deserves to be on this list, I would say, though. Let's get into number 2. Again, I don't know if this is in any order, but Box is a Gamecock fan. He put his boy Melvin Ingram, a.k.a. Perp, in there. Was All-American in 2011. First team All-SEC, 21 and a half career sacks, 3 picks, 3 touchdowns. It's pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Melvin Ingram was a monster. I remember him coming out, dominant defensive end. That South Carolina defense with Clowney, Downey, Gilmore, Dixon boys. It was deep, crazy defense. And number 1, according to Box, Jeremiah Claiborne. Of course, the incumbent, number 1 player on everybody's list, I hope. 2-time national champion. Heisman Award winner in 2005, even though it was vacated. 2-time Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year in 2004, 2005. AP Player of the Year 2005. Reggie Bush was nothing short of amazing at his time at USC and one of the best college players we've ever seen. Definitely on my list. I won't tell y'all where yet, but drop your comments. Let me know your list right now. Who's the top 5 players you've ever seen play college football? Let's get into my list. Of course, I have to get into my list. And of course, I'm going to accompany my list with a little video production as well. But let's start off number 5. Yes, sir. Number 1 overall pick in 2011. Transfer from Glenn College, Cam Newton. These are just some of the most memorable plays I remember from these guys' career. Cam Newton's amazing play in the Iron Bowl to come back. Auburn versus Alabama, one of the greatest memories. 24-point comeback, the largest deficit ever. Cam Newton did his damn thing, man. In Florida, he left. They won a national championship. Glenn College won a national championship. Auburn won a national championship. And the numbers speak for themselves. Again, it was the 3rd player to rush for 20 touchdowns and throw for 20 touchdowns in a season. First player in SEC history to throw for 2,000 and rush for 1,000. And one of the most memorable seasons we've ever seen in college football. Cameron Jarrell, Newton, number 5 on my list. Let's get into number 4. You see it. Why? Nah. Number 4 on my list, Troy Smith, one of the greatest Buckeyes of all time. Let's see how he throws that ball right here. This is one of the most memorable plays in my Ohio State history. Penn State, sling that pill, boy. Sling that pill, boy. He could throw the ball, man. One of the highest Heisman victories ever. 86.7%, still a record to this day. 2006 Player of the Year, 2006 Archie Griffin Award winner, 2006 Fiesta Bowl winner. And, you know, again, other than Texas and Penn State the year before, he only had lost 2 games in his career as a starter. Came back 2007, unfortunately lost in the national championship game, but only had 4 passes, albeit Troy Smith, one of my favorites ever in the history of the program. That's why he is number 4 on my college players I've seen all the time. Let's get into number 3. Y'all ever seen a Mamba? How about a black Mamba? Yes, D. Anthony Thomas, if you guys remember, the speedster from Oregon, electrified the country in 2011. Freshman season, had 18 touchdowns, 2,235 all-purpose yards, some of them being here. Whew, look at this man. Look at this man. Shifty ain't even the word. D. Anthony Thomas was amazing at his time in Oregon. 18 touchdowns the following year as a sophomore. Was on the Heisman list. He had 2 carries in the Rose Bowl. 155 yards, okay? 2 carries and 155 yards. How do you do that? Doesn't make sense, but he did it. 314 all-purpose yards in the 2012, 314 all-purpose yards in that game as well. The Black Mamba, D. Anthony Thomas, one of the most electrifying players I had ever seen. Ever. Cannot have a list without this guy on it. Just gotta be real. Cannot, will not. It's one of the greatest to ever do it. The introduction to Tim Tebow is here. This is the first time I was ever able to see the man and say, oh, this is special. Chris Lee National Championship. But Tim Tebow was very instrumental. Got a championship in 2006. Won his own in 2008. Of course, led them to that championship as well. But Tim Tebow is the ultimate college football quarterback. I mean, God, football, and Gators. That's what it was about in Florida. Did win the Heisman, first sophomore to win the Heisman Trophy in 2007. He only threw 15 interceptions in 4 years. That's amazing. That's an amazing stat to me. Tim Tebow, one of the greatest I've ever seen. We know it went a little different for him when he got to the league, but hey. Last but not least, roll the tape. Roll the tape. 2005 Heisman Trophy winner. I don't care if it was vacated. You ever seen somebody do this? Whoa, stop on a dime, get out of here. To the house. 513 yards in that game. 513 yards in that game. 2-time All-American, as I said. National Championship 2003-2004. First Trojan since Marcus Allen to lead the Trojans in all-purpose yards. Reginald Bush. Yes, the Bushman. Reggie Bush was amazing. He was nothing short of amazing. Simple. What else do you want me to say? Y'all saw him. If you didn't see him, highlights. It's the first time we ever really saw highlight tapes of football players like that. First time in my life. Reggie Bush, #1 college football player I've ever seen in my whole life. If you disagree, you smoke crack, don't you? I want to show the fans some love, you know what I'm saying, our supporters some love. Corey Fincham sent in his top 5. I'm just going to give you the names, give you a little synopsis of what he said. I don't know if this is order or not, but he said Vince Young for Texas, Darren McFadden, Arkansas. Y'all can read the descriptions there as well. Tommy Frazier from Nebraska. He comes from a different era, man. He comes from a different era. You got to know, if you know, you know. Michael Vick is going to show up in this list, and Tim Tebow as well. I gotta show respect to Tim Tebow, man. I don't know how Box just... I don't know how you can have a list of college football players without Tim Tebow. I mean, maybe he thinks it was all hype, but I ain't never seen nothing like Tim Tebow in college. That man had all of God on his side every game. But that's my top 5. We'll take a quick break. Y'all just heard that School Kid Prince. I represent the foe as we came in on the show tonight. We're going to play it on the way out as well. But when we come back, NBA, we never talk NBA on the show. Let's get into the NBA. Let's redraft the 2009 NBA draft class. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. It's the Dream Sports Show. It's the Dream Sports Show. Steven the Dream. I'll be right back, man. Stay tuned.
Bitches mad, I don't give a fuck. I'd rather run up an info, I fuck, had to double the bag. Used to have enough, I was flexing, finessing just to run it up. Nigga, I just had the deal, nigga, I ain't enough, about to run up them M's. Nigga, run it up on the jet with the baby, teaching me what's up as we smoke.
Meechie. It's that Meechie Bow Boa Backlot. Y'all know how I do, man. If you want your song played on my show, just send it in. Just send it in, or I'm going to go look for it, whichever one. We are back with the Dream Sports Show. I am live here on Facebook for you. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Carolina Heat Up, man. Sports, music, entertainment. You can't lose if you go to that page and subscribe. That's all I'm going to say. You can't lose. You can't lose. If y'all hear the songs tonight and they sped up a little bit, I'm trying something a little different, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get flagged. So if you hear your music and it sounds a little funny, don't get mad at me. I'm just trying to protect my video, you know what I'm saying? Show you some love and protect myself at the same time. Let's show the NBA some love, something we rarely do on this show. Once again, I like to let people get involved with this show. Send me the topics. Tell me what y'all want to talk about, because what's the point of me sitting up here talking about it if I just want to only talk about it? Give me something y'all want to talk about, y'all want to discuss. So my boy Michael Meads, shout out to him, suggested we need to revisit the 2009 NBA draft. Blake Griffin went #1. Hasheem Thabeet went #2. And it made me think, let's get into it. Why not? Let's look at it. So I'm going to give you guys the 2009 NBA draft class. This is the order. This is how they went. This is how it went down. You got Blake Griffin to the Clippers at #1. You got Hasheem Thabeet, the first player ever to go to the D-League, drafted that high in history. James Harden, you know, not bad, you know, but of course he no longer is there either. You got a guy like Tyreke Evans, you know, serviceable player, didn't really live up to the hype, I would say, that he had coming out. And then last but not least, #5, Ricky Rubio, the sensation from Spain. Everybody was clamoring about him. I thought Ricky Rubio was going to be the next best point guard. Minnesota clearly didn't think he was going to be the next best because they took Johnny Flynn right after that with number 6. And then came Steph Curry. Now, what I will say in this draft, 6 players made the All-Star team in their careers. I think 1, 2, 3 of those players are drafted in the top 10. And this was terrible. Now, looking back on it, Blake Griffin, coming out of Oklahoma, player of the year, averaged 15.5 points a game in his career now. So it's not a bad pick. But still, if you're the Clippers and you look back at that draft, there's only one person you would take. It's Steph Curry. Now, we can look at a guy like Hasheem Thabeet, like I said, 2.2 points a game, 2.7 rebounds. That's his career, Hasheem Thabeet. And, 7'3", 10 blocks in a game, you would think he'd be a great number 2 pick, but clearly he wasn't the answer. He didn't get it done for Memphis because he was in the D League very quick. What Minnesota did down there, that's why they're still no good today. Why would you pick 2 point guards? Matter of fact, they picked a 3rd point guard later on. It made no sense. I got a better plan for them. I got a better plan for all these teams. So what I'm going to do, we'll go into a dream right now, and we'll look at who I believe should have been the draft order for the 2009 NBA draft. If I was the GM of all these teams, this is how I would have done it. Steph Curry would have been the number 1 pick in the draft, although, he had injuries. The man averaged 28.6 points at Davidson. He's a 3-time champion. He's a unanimous MVP, the only unanimous MVP. Don't let it go over your head. And he's been amazing. You know what I'm saying? He has not been anything that you would be like, yo, why wouldn't we pick Steph Curry? Why would you pick Harden over Curry? He hasn't won anything. Why would you pick Blake Griffin over Curry? He hasn't won anything. Danny Green. None of these guys have won anything other than Curry. So it's obvious and easy. Steph Curry should have been number 1. Blake Griffin could have went down to Memphis, and him and Zach Randolph could have been friends. You know what I'm saying? Albeit, that still could have been a void for them to pick up a big man. Would have been real easy. Put Blake Griffin in there. Would have got a lot more product than Hasheem Thabeet. If I'm OKC, I still pick James Harden. He was a great player coming out of Arizona State. Looked good. Played well. Has performed up to this point. MVP as well. If I'm the Kings, go get your point guard like Drew Holiday, man. I don't get why Drew Holiday couldn't have easily have been the pick if I'm the Sacramento Kings that year. Let me switch this around, actually, because I want to make sure that y'all can see what I'm drafting. Because clearly what they drafted wasn't it. But yeah, also Drew Holiday, he's been great for the Pelicans. He's just been sitting out there. He's got injured a couple times, but Sacramento still has not found a point guard, in my opinion, since Mike Bibby. Let's just be real. Brandon Jennings, serviceable player, even to this day. He was young, kid from Compton. DeMar DeRozan, kid from Compton. I was trying to put something together there, man. If Minnesota had any brains, put the 2 kids from Compton together, let them come out and play ball. Let them come out and play ball together. Maybe they could have got comfortable. Maybe there could have been some chemistry. Maybe Minnesota could have relived something. But no, they picked 2 point guards. And if I'm Golden State, Danny Green. You were building something. Danny Green, good player. I think he won a national championship with North Carolina that year. So, no, he didn't win the national championship in 09. I think Duke won in 09. But Danny Green, he was a championship caliber player. He's someone that I would have drafted in 2009. You got some other guys in that draft. But ultimately, how say you? 2009, if we can go back. Shout out to Michael Meads. I see him in the comments right now. He showing some love. Griffin over the beard. Corey Fincham. Harden doesn't play defense. That's where I'm at with it, Give me Blake Griffin. Harden, it took him a couple years to come to his own, albeit he had to share the floor. But in Memphis, I guess he would have had a couple defensive stalwarts around him to help, and maybe all right. Maybe Harden should have went number 2 to Memphis. I don't know. They had Mike Conley. That's tough. That's tough. Good question by my boy Michael Meads, though. One more time, I'll show y'all who I believe should have been drafted in the 2009 redraft, according to myself, Steven the Dream. Don't let me play commissioner. Y'all ain't even ready for all that. But last but not least, before we get up out of here, man, I want to... This show has quickly been turned into a wrestling podcast. I don't know why. I'm back into it. I've been watching a lot of wrestling lately. I mean, what else am I going to do? But essentially, we'll recap WrestleMania, talk about it, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I think they should do moving forward, what I think they should never try again, and we'll end the show. But it's the Dream Sports Show. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all stay tuned. Once again, man, Meechie Bow Boa, Backlot. It's the Dream Sports Show. I'll be back.
Going back to the reason I created this is not for me at all. It's for the youth. When you think about it, they are our future. If y'all trying to do something great in the music industry or whatever industry you in, the best thing you can do is tap into when they're young. Because when they get out, they might not know where to be at in life. They can, since they physically saw you, they might one day be your right-hand man or your future employee, the person making beats for you, or the person that's in your business. You see what I'm saying?
Y'all ready to have some fun?
What school are we at? Let's go!
Just wrapped up a dope time at Candy Sweets and Treats here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, man. Definitely a great shop to come with the kids, a great place to come on a date, great environment, great freaking treats, man. I mean, sheesh, she did her thing, man. And a great owner, man. Great family business. Everything's great about it. Y'all make sure to come out. 1051 Oakland Avenue in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Candy Sweets and Treats. Can't miss it. It's right off the side. Check in, man.
Diamonds dancing, key pops. Look at my new wristwatch. AP Paddock, TikTok. Shiny things and big rocks. On my hips a big Glock. Pray hope you don't get popped. Forever putting knives around you. If I only want the house. Diamonds dancing, key.
Hey yo, this is what Cadillac Prime. Why am I stone cold Stunna that, man? We don't do no stunning. We straight stunning, you feel me? Stunna. I'm stunning like a stone cold Stunna. I'm stunning like a stone cold Stunna.
Cadillac Prime, Stone Cold Stunna. I like that song, man. That's for joy. That's for joy. Speaking of Stone Cold, speaking of stunting, WWE Wrestlemania. Once again, man, I don't know why. I don't know if it's quarantine, but all I've been doing is watching wrestling. A whole lot of wrestling going on this way, folks. And while watching wrestling, of course, WrestleMania 36 just passed by. The Night of Immortals, the champion of champions, everybody was there in full effect except one person. We know Roman Reigns couldn't be there because he has health issues, but it was a good night, man. It was a good night full of energy. I did not expect it to go the way it went, with no crowd interaction, with no one in the stands, with a lot of talking. I mean, we could hear everything. You could literally hear everything, and I didn't think that would be good for the WWE, but ultimately it worked out in my opinion. A lot of people said the show should have been postponed, the show should have not went on, but to me, I think it was a good show. You got Gronk winning the title. Thought that was pretty good. Let me get into the things I liked about WrestleMania real quick. So, we'll jump right into it. First and foremost, my favorite thing about WrestleMania, ultimately, and I think this was everybody's favorite thing about WrestleMania that night, was the Boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles. I mean, this, folks, was entertainment at its finest. I don't know if you're wrestling fans, but if you are not, wrestling is not supposed to be scripted this much. I mean, it is scripted, but the way they did this, cinematic beauty. You got The Undertaker getting challenged by AJ Styles about being old. He challenges to an old school Boneyard match in Undertaker's home, in his own backyard, and the boys fight it out. Undertaker is just so mythical and mystical. You could believe some of the things that you were seeing there last night, and it was only because if you're a real fan, you know The Undertaker never dies. AJ, he went down. It was bad for him, but the WWE put together a dramatic, scripted mini movie, and I loved it. It was amazing. Boneyard match, enjoyed it. These photos are courtesy of the WWE as well. What I did not like, I was not a fan of the Edge and Randy Orton last man standing match. It went on too long, man, for there not to be no interaction. They tried to take it back to the gym area, and it just did not work for me. Too slow. Pace didn't pick up enough. Wasn't a fan. Didn't like the ending. Wasn't for me. Match wasn't for me. I loved the triple threat tag team ladder match that occurred. Although a ladder match it's kind of weird to think that a tag team ladder match occurs when with 3 people. But getting some inside information from my boy Tony Christian, he told me that they canceled the triple threat tag team match because of course, COVID. You can't have 6 people in the ring at one time. It's a danger. It's a threat. But they did a great job, in my opinion, still fighting Johnny Uso, Kofi Kingston, Johnny Nitro. Sorry, not Johnny Nitro. Johnny Nitro. What am I talking about? Did their thing out there, man. They did their thing. Ultimately, coming up with the world champions, Miz. The Miz. Is it Johnny Nitro? See, I told you, I'm not a huge wrestling fan, man. I'm not back in my wrestling bag like I should be. I want to make sure I get the facts right for y'all, so I'm going to get the name right. But I love that match. That showed you that you was dealing with some of the greatest athletes in this world. John Morrison. I don't know why I call him Johnny Nitro. John Morrison used to be his partner. What I did not like, the squish matches, man. Like Brock and Drew McIntyre, he wins the match in 5 minutes. Like, I know Brock doesn't wrestle much. I know he's a champion. I know he's not scheduled to be on every card, but you gotta give me more than 5 minutes, man. And Drew McIntyre, although he's the guy that's been touted as the next big thing for 10 years and finally got his moment, very anticlimactic, happening with no crowd. Didn't like it. Also, Goldberg, Braun Strowman, 4 spears, 4 body slams. Get out of here, man. Wasn't enough for me personally. I was not a fan of that match in particular. But what do I know, man? Maybe the fans loved it. Maybe they want to see Braun Strowman win in that fashion. And maybe they like seeing Goldberg continue to come back year after year and get squished. I ain't a fan of it. Last but not least, what did I love about this WrestleMania? Once again, the fiery funhouse match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Had a little fun with John Cena there, taking him through different eras. You know, we know John Cena is the greatest wrestler in the history of the sport, 16th-time champion. Took him to the NWO era, showed him a little Hollywood Hulk Hogan in him, and it was dope, man. These matches, I'm here for them. WWE touched me with those. The Beast, the Freak, Bray Wyatt gets the victory. We saw John Cena lose ultimately, but it was a great story. The way they took us through it all, I enjoyed it. WWE, continue. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. That's all I got for y'all today, man. 31 minutes. I think I made up for some, some lacking and some other days that we showed up. But make sure y'all send in your topics. It's the Dream Sports Show. Shout out my boy Box. Shout out my boy Corey Finch and Reem Rose. I'm just checking on my people tuning in with me. It's usually my same group of guys, but guess what, man? We in here. We got nothing else to do but sports and quarantine, so that's what I'm here for, y'all. Check y'all on the next one. It's the Dream Sports Show. Y'all stay tuned. Hold on, man. I gotta give y'all a little bit more of that Stunna. But it's the Dream Sports Show, man. I'm out. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Make sure to give me a follow. Steven Dream. I'm a stone cold stunner. I'm out here breaking records, doing stone cold numbers.